WWDC as a relatively low, how would I describe myself? As a light Apple ecosystem dabbler. You know, I've used the devices. I mean, people forget this. It's amazing how many people think I'm just like some kind of Apple hater and I hate the company and I hate their products or whatever.
Well, when you're using this now, you'll be an Android hater.
I know, right? I dailied the iPhone 4 for like
a long time,
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I dailied the iPhone 6S for over a year.
I was going to say a bit, yeah.
Yeah, for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I've never gotten into macOS. Like,
no. That's
never really been my jam. There's stuff I need to do. I have work to do. And macOS is great for certain things, especially with Apple Silicon. Like the battery life there's been nothing comparable on the Windows side, at least not yet. I'm
a little jelly of MacBooks right now.
I don't know if it's in the dock, but I saw that there's some early Snapdragon Elite or Snapdragon X Elite benchmarks that are looking not as exciting as we might have hoped, which is really disappointing. So I've been kind of getting hyped, and now I'm like a little more cautiously, maybe I hope to be optimistic at some point. Anyway, we just really haven't had a response to that. But other than that, there's nothing that really draws me into macOS, and being in the industry that we're in, which is kind of a lot of different industries. Like we do some media, which Mac is super friendly for, but we also do some maker stuff, which Mac is a lot less friendly for. Like, yeah. I don't think SolidWorks is supported at all. And that's something that we have multiple teams that rely on. So it's just like, if we're going to be on an ecosystem, we have to be on something that we can all be on. Otherwise, we're supporting this like random mix. And we actually are supporting a random mix.
We are
these days, but it's relatively limited on the Mac side.
And not going to lie, it is pretty annoying. We're working on making it less annoying. It is possible for it to be less annoying, but even like our like remote management stuff, we like basically need another system for Apple. You basically need 2 systems.
So even as a light user, the only Apple product that I daily drive today is my AirPods Pro 2s. Yeah. Even as a light user, WWDC was legitimately very exciting this year. So we have a full video on WWDC, so we're not going to go through absolutely everything, but the team did put together a bullet list of kind of everything that Apple announced, and bolded are the ones that they suspect that I will be most excited about. We kind of glossed over it in the video.
This is a lot of things bolded.
But, dude, T9 dialing.
Oh, I didn't actually hear about that. All right. So they're catering to you specifically.
Someone at Apple finally listened. And you know what? I don't think it has anything to do with me. I don't actually have a big enough ego to think that someone at Apple was like, I've been doing this a lot this show so far.
Let's win over the Canadian.
Someone, yeah, let's bring him into the fold. It's time. You know, I don't actually think that happened. But what I do think has happened at Apple, and what a lot of these things feel like to me, is a bit of an attitude adjustment.
Okay.
These are all things, the things that I'm most excited about. So the ability to really, though, actually for real, customize your home screen layout.
Yeah.
And put an icon anywhere you want.
It shouldn't, I don't feel like it should be that huge to me, but it's huge to me.
But
my home screen has always been almost blank. And it's important to me.
And dude, I am not going to put stuff I need to interact with at the top. Physiologically, it doesn't make any sense for me because I have small hands and I can't reach it. I can reach the bottom. Everything I need to do frequently, there you go, is in the bottom right. So that's where my email is. That's where Chrome is. That's where I have a folder called Social that contains things like Teams, because I don't have a real social life. I just have my paid friends. But so like media, social, navigation, storage and docs, email, Chrome, that's all there. And then everything else that's kind of out here is stuff that I need once in a while. And so the way that iOS worked, where I just had to like stack up garbage or put unnamed folders to take up space.
I've seen that.
Oh, so stupid. It's just such an unnecessary, completely asinine workaround. And you guys won't have to hear me whine about it ever again, because Apple has finally just acknowledged that the only reason they weren't doing it was just user hostility and outright stubbornness. Like it had nothing to do with that this was difficult or something they couldn't do. It was just because they didn't feel like it. And it was the same way with T9 dialing. I've talked about this before, and I get it. You, Johnson, you don't understand T9 dialing, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. You can just not fucking use it because
it's not in the way.
Because T9 dialing doesn't get in your way. You can continue to type on a keyboard like a caveman instead of using T9 dialing like a whole man. You know? Well, I mean, look, they both existed if anything, T9 came first. We're less advanced. But the point is T9 dialing doesn't impact your ability to search for a contact with your keyboard. It doesn't matter. You can continue to do that. But it's something that I've said time and time again. A skilled Apple developer could literally implement in probably an afternoon, plus all the time it takes to validate and
junk.
All the other stuff. But in terms of the actual development of that feature, it is negligible by modern standards.
It would be very fast.
And the only reason that they haven't done it is just, I don't know, because Android has that feature, and I don't know, having something that Android had first, except that half the things that they do, Android had first. So I've never been able to understand it. But it's great. It's freaking awesome. It's so much faster. It means that you don't have to program favorites. You don't have to remember anyone's number. You just start dialing their name. You don't dial the number. So you, Martha, who doesn't understand what T9 dialing is, I've tried so many times to explain it and had people argue with me that it's slower. And I'm just like, I actually can't anymore. Like you've not listened. And now you're yammering at me, and this is not a real conversation because you haven't heard a thing that I've said. So it's really, really exciting to me. But what's exciting to me about those two things in particular is those are two things that Apple absolutely knew. They absolutely knew that competing platforms had them. They absolutely knew that they were easy to implement. And they absolutely knew that their users wanted them.
Yeah.
So they knew all of these things.
They're not intrusive to users that don't want them.
Exactly. They knew all of those things and they didn't do them because, I don't know, you. That's why. That's the only reason I can think of. And here they are. And here they are at the same time. And here they are alongside a whole bunch of other really cool stuff that basically eliminates any reason that I would need to stay on it. I shouldn't say any reason. Sideloading is still a huge one for me, but eliminates almost any reason that I would need to stay on Android.
I respect that being an important reason. Do you actually do sideloading?
I actually need it. Okay. There is one stupid smart home appliance that I have that is not approved for sale in Canada. I imported one from the UK. And because I'm on a Canadian App Store and Play Store account with a Canadian credit card, I cannot install the app for it unless I sideload it.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. So no, sideloading does matter unless it doesn't to you, in which case that's great. But if you do need it, you do need it.
Yep.
Don't tell me what I can and can't install on my phone. If I get the thing and I decide I'm gonna, take the risk and use this thing that is not for sale in my country, then I'll use it. It's not up to you. So that's definitely something that's holding me back. But man, this is great. RCS support. RCS is coming. So it really does feel not like just some stuff that they're doing to, think differently and be Apple about it. This really feels like, oh crap, the legislators are coming. Not coming, they have come. The legislators have come. It's time for us to appeal to our users in we don't have you held hostage anymore. Stuff that you want, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Be so happy about this. And remember iPhone is great and has all this stuff that is really good. And it really is. It is really good. This looks awesome. ChatGPT integration. That's cool. the fact that Apple is paying for it, so you aren't paying any more than what you're paying for your Shiny Eye device or your iCloud subscription or whatever else. So if Siri can answer the question, she'll answer the question, and Apple actually has some of that running locally, which is super, super cool. And then if it's too complicated for Siri, then it'll fall back to ChatGPT. And if you have a paid ChatGPT account, you can bring some of your paid features over, but otherwise it's just free.
I don't think Apple's actually paying for it. I think just like no one is. I think Apple is paying in quotes through distribution, not cash.
Paying in exposure. Sorry. Excuse me. So whatever the compensation is,
if you want like advanced features,
you do have to pay.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of the basics, Apple has sorted it out, and you will basically get. I think they're using GPT-4 Omni.
Yes.
Yeah.
As far as my understanding goes.
So you'll get the latest ChatGPT, which is super cool. They've got Clean App AI photo object removal. Yeah. The Photos app redesigned, so it's now a lot more similar to Google Photos, which is legitimately really great. Let's see what else we got. You can app blocking and hiding. Oh, app blocking and hiding is super cool.
What's that?
You can basically have apps hidden so that if a different user is using the device, they don't even know that it's installed, and no notification will pop up. So the joke we made in the video was like if I had Grindr and I didn't want Yvonne to see it, then I could like lock that. I could hide that app entirely, and even media that
How's
that
it
app.
Different user though. Oh, because this is not okay. This is on
iPad OS.
Yeah. Okay.
And iOS actually.
So it's not phone. I was still thinking phone.
And if I handed it to my kids or whatever, then I can lock away certain apps, which is super cool.
That is cool.
The iPad calculator is super cool.
You might want like Reddit or Twitter, places where things might get posted that are you don't necessarily want them seeing.
Absolutely. Let's see. What else we got here? macOS. Yeah, the iPhone mirroring thing on macOS is super cool. It's like kind of like a remote desktop-ish thing. You can like take phone calls and stuff. What else we got? Window tiling. Yeah, macOS is looking a little bit better. Yeah, they finally have like suggestions for window layouts when you drag the thing over.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's like that's what I'm talking about though. It's stuff that just obviously
should have been there a long time
should have been dealt with ages ago, and they're just like it's like the entire team is just assigned to finding those things that people have been whining about for 10 years and just get it done. Just get it done. So cool.
Someone mentioned in terms of like the app locking.
All it took was some antitrust.
Antitrust is good, man. Someone mentioned along with the app locking thing that like banking apps, and if you have like some form of I don't know, I was going to say government apps. I can't think of any that are currently active, but I know like the COVID passport stuff was a thing for a while. You can have those locked down. That's pretty nice.
Someone pointed out, yes, taking phone calls on your Mac has been a thing for like a decade with what is it, continuity or whatever it is. Yes, but the basically just having like your iPhone just be like a little thing. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you could take a phone call, but you could also do like anything else. I have to imagine that they're using a lot of those same work that they did for the Vision Pro for like desktop projection. I mean, now that everything's running on the same silicon, essentially.
So someone said, "Oh, where'd it go?"
Safari Reader mode is crazy, by the way. It will like de-emphasize the unimportant parts of a page.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's like not ad block, but it's essentially Linus Vision.
It's like a focus mode. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I might actually use that because I use have I told you my 3 paragraphs trick?
What is your 3 paragraphs trick?
Whenever I open an article, I always skip the first 3 paragraphs. If I'm in like my Google News feed and I click on something, I immediately scroll 3 paragraphs down. Because it's like when the article title is like something that I'm interested in, the first 3 paragraphs are almost always fluff because they want you to scroll down to get through the ads.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I just skip them and go right through it. And I find the 3rd or 4th paragraph is usually when they start hitting the like meat of the article. Mackie Bean in Full Plane Chat said, for Windows snapping, macOS couldn't do that before because Microsoft actually had a patent. There's got to be ways around it.
Yeah, I'm sure they could have figured out a way around it.
He just said suggested layouts, not actually window snapping. That's a way that you could think of to work around it, right?
Yeah, and they're doing it now. Patents expire after what, like 15 years or something like that? It hasn't been that long. So they clearly figured it out.
Yeah. There's gotta be ways.
Man, so cool. Oh, there's unannounced, but discovered in the iOS 18 beta. Voicemail notifications, including transcription.
That's nice.
Custom charging limits, 80 to 100%.
That's nice.
Something that just should have been a thing. Like back when they had that whole debacle around the batteries degrading.
Yeah, they should have launched that at the same time.
It should have just immediately been a thing. There's absolutely no reason for it to have not been a thing.
100%.
Flashlight beam pattern adjustment. Okay, that's super cool. Visual side button press indicators. Mixed language keyboards, for example, Spanglish. Okay,
interesting.
That's super cool.
That is
like
cool.
Seriously. I'm sure we could talk about a lot more of this stuff. Guys, you can watch the video. You can watch like all the bajillion videos and articles covering it. But for me, really what I wanted to talk about on WAN Show was...
Apparently it's been 15 years. Windows snapping was announced in 2009.
Yes, Windows snapping, but Apple's had just the like side-to-side one for a while.
Oh, okay.
It's the like multiple layout suggestion one that I think came with Windows 10 as a power toy first and then was integrated something. It was not as long ago.
Okay.
Yes, Windows Aero Snap has actually been 15 years. That was launched with Vista, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I know, right?
The weird one that I was discussing with someone last night is 2015 is only 6 months away from being a decade ago.
Crap.
Yeah, that's a weird one. That's a weird one.
Stop it.
Yikes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the attitude shift that seems to have taken place here. Just the fact that so many of these things are things they could have done 5 or 10 years ago. They had split screen, but not snapping. I had to buy an app called Magnet to enable window snapping. Look, either way, fine. Either way. Doesn't change the point. The point is they're finally addressing things that have been clear deficiencies that their users have wanted them to address for a very long time, while also doing cool, innovative Apple things like the satellite text messaging thing. Is so cool. That could be a literal lifesaver.
Yeah,
actual lifesaver.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it. They briefly overtook Microsoft as the world's most valuable company, but lost the lead before close, apparently. Love it. I'm excited. I'm you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. I'm going to daily
switch.
Well, look, I've been looking for a new phone for a while.
You've been, what is that, Note 9?
Yeah.
For how long?
Ever since I dropped my Fold in the pool. So there's that. Anyway, I've been looking for a phone for a while, and you guys suggested very stupid things to me, unfortunately. Well, one of them wasn't that stupid. One of them was. The LG Wing was a very stupid suggestion, but the Fairphone 5 wasn't stupid until it was super, super underpowered and had just like game-breaking bugs, like the fact that the ringer volume could only be ear-splitting or completely off, which just doesn't work for me. Okay. So this might be it then. I might just go iPhone.
It's fun.
Yeah, do it.
I wanted to this time.
Do it for a while.
But it didn't feel like it was ready.
Yeah, you keep going back to the Pixel.
Yeah, I never want to. And then
I know you hate
anyways.
it every time, and then you just like keep going back. It's like, what kind of relationship is this that you're in?
I think this time, if I had to do it again, I probably would have gone with an Xperia actually. But I realized that like months after the fact, not shortly after the fact, like months after the fact.
I'm going to convert you.
Trying other people's.
Sony just quietly has
it was you.
Pretty great phones.
Sony has like a lot of quiet everything.
Yeah, nobody seems to really care over here.
Well, I had an Xperia a long time ago, and I really liked it.
So much. I'm the one North American who actually cares.
Dan. Okay, Dan.
He's got me pretty sold. When this finally goes down the tank, which hopefully not for another like couple of years, but I suspect it'll be iPhone versus Xperia.
Oh yeah, and tap to cash in Apple Pay looks sick.
Yeah,
it's like splitting bills. Forget about it. Like, boop. How was that not a thing? Like the fact that
it's genuinely pretty cool.
Dude,
isn't the animation like sick too?
That was one of those things that I'm not sure. I haven't actually.
I saw an animation of something and I thought it was that, but I'm not sure, and it looked really cool. Anyways, you know who's not happy about this stuff? Elon Musk. Elon Musk was furious at the news of a partnership with OpenAI, immediately threatening to ban the use of Apple devices at his companies, even by guests.
What? Why?
Because, well, he tweeted an image to explain. If you check it out on X, I will share my screen. That's why, I guess. Because you're giving all of your data to OpenAI. But I think maybe he doesn't understand, or maybe I don't, because I think it's opt-in, right? Because it's not like Apple doesn't have their own AI stuff.
He knows that like Tesla has had more user data scandals than OpenAI, right?
Well, OpenAI hasn't lasted for very long.
Yeah,
been around for very long.
But he knows that Teslas have been
pretty big,
quite egregious.
Yeah,
right.
Watching people's videos.
Yeah, like
because you have all your cameras in your Tesla,
yeah.
And there's been Tesla employees caught just watching people's videos and stuff.
Yeah,
like not good.
And not just watching them, but like sharing them on like internal Discords and stuff, like
not
group
Discord,
chats.
But yeah.
Sorry, their internal. Yeah. Sorry, their internal group chats.
Yeah.
Like he knows that, right?
Yeah.
It's
kind of weird.
I don't know if he knows that.
I think it's just because of his like ongoing war with OpenAI, so he's just trying to like make noise. I don't know, or something.
Man. You see the lawsuit? Apparently, some Tesla shareholders are mad that he created a competing AI company when Tesla was supposed to be his AI company.